All right, this video is a perfect example of what I've been talking about for like the last half day. Donald Trump has been spewing out the word African American, basically, and intimating that he's going to do a lot. Actually, he says he's going to do a lot for black people. I think that's bullshit. But he also has mentioned other minorities and how he's all for American minorities. But the Democrats are going to be able to take, I guess, clips from this next video that I'm going to show you and point out that even though he is trying to talk a good game, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, he is no more for minorities, minority support of his campaign than a man in the moon. Obviously, it's no secret that some minorities are in favor of Donald Trump. And in this particular clip, you're going to find a person of Indian, not American, Native American, but Indian heritage, that was a big Trump supporter, showed up at one of his rallies. Actually, it was his rally yesterday in North Carolina when he was spewing that bullshit about being so good for African Americans. And this kid was profiled and thrown out of Trump's rally. And this kid supposedly was a giant Trump supporter. But Trump's own security basically are targeting people that they think are protesters and not even allowing them to attend Trump's rallies. Anyway, here's the clip. And again, if the Clinton campaign is smart, she's going to get this particular clip and run it like crazy. She should even, if she can, grab this kid up and have him do a commercial about how he was for Trump, but Trump basically did him wrong.
Fair and equal representation. This is what I promise to African Americans, Hispanics, Americans, and of all types, of all colors, of all religions. This is what we promise. We all promise. Everybody in this room promises. This is what we have to do.
Unfortunately, they had already kicked the kid out when Trump was making that speech. So I guess that promise didn't apply to anybody that wasn't in that room, which it was all basically white people.
Speaking of who was in the room, a young man from North Carolina named Jake Anantha went to that Donald Trump rally last night in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jake's 18, voting in his first election this year. He went to that rally in Charlotte last night to see the candidate who he has enthusiastically supported, Donald Trump. But Jake was ejected from the rally by Trump's security. He says he believes he was racially profiled. Joining us now for the interview are Jake Anantha and his father, Ramesh Anantha. Welcome to both of you. It's really nice of you to come on the show tonight to talk to us about what happened. I appreciate you both being here.
Yeah, and thank you. Thanks, Rachel.
Jake, let me start with you. Can you just, first of all, tell me if I got anything wrong in terms of how I explained what happened last night, and just put it in your own words. Tell us what happened.
You were pretty much correct. I showed up uptown maybe around 2:30. I got in line, I'd say around 3 or so. And I was waiting in the hot sun until about just before 4:30. They opened the doors, they let me in. I went through security, everything was fine. And, I was there fairly early, so I was fairly close to the stage. I had to wait for a while, probably waiting for about an hour and a half, just listening to music, minding my own business. And I get a tap on my shoulder from, I guess, Donald Trump's head of security, basically telling me that he knows who I am, that I am a protester. I am someone who has been kicked out of previous rallies for disrupting, which isn't true at all. I was shocked to hear this. Everything he was saying, I was completely shocked. I have never been to a Donald Trump rally before that, and I would never protest against Trump because I was a Donald Trump supporter.
And you explained that to the head of security, and he just said, "I don't care," or did he rebut you,
well,
or did he?
What happened was he claimed that three individuals, I guess, had pointed me out while I was standing there. I don't know if these were security guards or just random people that were attending the event, but I guess their word matters or is more important than mine, holds more weight. I really don't understand.
Jay, can I just ask you how you feel about it? Not to explain their motivation or where you think it was coming from, but how it made you feel in the moment and how you feel about it now.
You know, what I will say is I am definitely not a Donald Trump supporter anymore. I believe that when I was there, everyone welcomed me. Everyone there was great. The people I was waiting in line with, who I was standing next to. It was a great day until Donald Trump's head of security just essentially is making up a lie about how he knows who I am, about how I'm a protester who's protested at previous rallies. And the most frustrating thing is that he doesn't give me a name of who he thinks I am, no picture, absolutely nothing. You know, he could have fabricated all of this. And I was left in the dark. No matter what I said, he wouldn't have believed me.
Mr. Anantha, let me ask you a question. I understand that you're a Republican as well. You have not necessarily been as enthusiastic about Donald Trump as your son. What did you think about your son going to this event, and what do you think about how it worked out?
It's incredibly disappointing, discouraging, and really heartbreaking. The irony is pretty much unbelievable, because Jake was the biggest Trump supporter, wearing his shirt. Just really, Trump's message resonated with him. He loved the guy, and this is a supporter that Trump should be falling over himself to celebrate, to get up on stage. I mean, he's young, he's minority, mixed race. Trump should be celebrating him. Instead, he kicks him out. And yes, it was not Donald Trump himself that pointed to my son and said, "Get out of here," but it was his head of security, Eddie Deck, former FBI agent who runs the show for security. And, the way Trump has been changing campaign managers like quicker than his socks, I think he ought to think about changing his security team, because they're not making the rallies a very welcoming or open, inclusive place.
Jake, let me just ask you before we go, if you said you don't feel like you can support Trump anymore, do you want an apology?
I would like an apology for sure. I'd like them to acknowledge that they've made a mistake, as well as I guess they're still sticking to the story that I am a known protester, which obviously isn't true. And I would like for them to essentially just say, "We're sorry, we made a huge mistake, we profiled you, and we realize what we've done is wrong, and we're sorry." I would definitely like an apology.
Jake Anantha and Ramesh Anantha, North Carolina, thanks for talking to us about this. I know that it's probably not fun to talk about. I imagine it wasn't fun to go through, but you explaining it in your own terms is really helpful for us knowing what happened. Thanks to you both. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, so I'm not going to throw the whole Republican Party under the bus on this one, but it's just like I said before, there are racist people within America, and that FBI guy, I don't know if he told the truth or not, and I'm more than willing to think that he probably didn't. Since this kid was up in the front, they probably were scanning all the people in the front, which they always do for security purposes, spotted this kid, and figured that this kid was going to be a protester, profiled him, and got him out of there. Bad move by Trump security, but I don't want to say that's what you get for being a Republican, but yeah, that's what you get for being a Republican.